Well, hey, Internet, it's Steve at Thousand Year Homes. Welcome aboard. Statistics will say this is your first time visiting, so I'm glad to have you here. So my channel's not about teaching or anything or selling, being a professional YouTuber or anything at all. It's a build journal of a guy who's building off grid. And in this one, I'm skinning this with tin that I got from various resources, tornadoes, teardowns, that kind of a thing, windows, all salvage material. I'm skinning a doghouse here for my sawmill shed, and my pace is slow. I don't even try to be educational. What I do is I'm documenting what I do to build, so I could look back a year from now or whatever. But people like my channel, and I've got over 1 million views, I believe, already, and onesie twosie here's and there. Anyway, you're welcome to watch. Not a lot of music, not a lot of, breakouts, selling you things, telling you to do this or that. Just a guy out in the middle of Texas skinning a old whimsy, I would say, sawmill shed. I've used the trees, because here in Texas, though, Texans will tell you a shade is more valuable than being near. We'll park in the shade and walk rather than park close and get scorched. Same with the sawmill. I put it underneath these trees. Let me show you that. You'll get a kick out of that. Hold on. For example, looky there. I put live trees right up through the shed. It's at least 20 degrees cooler in here. Those aren't fancy trees. They're just junipers, and they poke right out through the shed. Now, most of this place is built fire resistant, right? It'll be adobe and earth bag and stuff. But that is just shade resistant is all I'm at. Anyway, rest of this video is me going from no wall at all to building a wall and skinning it out and getting it that far. And eventually I'll have dog houses on both ends, open space with the sawmill in there, leveled, so I could start cutting logs. Getting close. All reclaimed material. What you're looking at there with that 38-foot building is about $380 more or less that I put into it so far. It'll be less money put into these things once I get the sawmill going, because it'll be gasoline to cut the boards, and that's it. So anyway, enjoy. Glad to have you. Thanks much. All right, well, that looks pretty good. Ready to tin up. Let's finish up this window and then do the other couple of sides. I'm still debating what to do back there. I actually think I'll do a hinged roof that can pick up in the back. One, I can use it for storage right now, but for two, as I cut and mill logs in here, maybe I'll want to take the boards off that side. I don't know. We'll find out. And then I'm going to do... I don't know what I'm going to do back here. I kind of want to be able to put my stuff here, so I might do a little partial wall just for strength, and then, a wall here. We'll find out. Well, I'm just going to eyeball here back to where we were. That feels good. That seems reasonable. 42 and a half. I get this sawmill going. This could be theoretically the last set of bought lumber I have to do. It's ironic I have to use bought lumber to build a sawmill shed, but here I am. Now, when I put window frames into a shed, I put the little cross pieces at a little bit of a tilt. So the water, if it does get inside behind the window, it'll run back out. That's how I do it. You do you. I just eyeball the tilt. Other folks probably, put flashing up and do all that. This is just an old Civil War sawmill shed. I don't need to get all fancy. As long as I could bring a log in there and put it on a sawmill, I'm good. I've got company here. Let me see if I can get you right there where the ladder is. See the little lizard in the hole? Let me zoom in. I don't know what kind of lizard that is. It is a lizard, not a snake. Good for him. Alright, well, I got company out here. Gatlin's not here today. Next week, he says he's going to come in and stay the whole weekend. He's going to sleep on the sofa. Well, that's good for a young man. That builds character. But then we can get out in the morning and mow all of this. You look around, you could see it's getting pretty on the wild side here. I'm hoping that the grass has gone to seed by then. Alright. Oh, nice. Well, real good. My value system doesn't allow me to even throw away a single screw, so I sort them, and if I find a pile in a garage sale, I buy them, and it's ridiculous, the labor of love. So anyway, there we go, and let me go ahead and keep building. But I was sitting there organizing screws and fittings, and I don't know, just wasting time. All right, let me keep going. But in using all the screws, I have both Phillips head and Torque head. Man, I hate Phillips heads. All I do is just strip them out. But they're all done. I used them all. So now I'm just to Torque's head, which I like. That little lizard is absolutely interested in me. He's been watching me the whole time. I'm enjoying his company, to be honest. I do not know what kind of lizard he is, to be honest. He's got a little weird marking. Oh, he's going to come out. Well, if anybody knows who he is, put down in the clicky cat clack what kind of buddy I've got right now today. He is definitely working with me. He doesn't care about the noise, doesn't care about... He's been half out of that hole the whole time while I've been working. Yeah, these Torque heads, now these are pretty small, but I'm just driving them down in. They're so much better to work with than the old Phillips. I think I'm all done with Phillips. I don't think I have any more. when I freehand cut like that, there's always a little taper. I just, I told you I put the top pieces at a slight angle so the water will run back out. I just find which side fits and stick it in. Seems to work. That little lizard's come all the way out of the hole to study me. I'm of interest to him. Let's take a look at him and figure out what he is. I think I've seen these kind of lizards before, but not this big, and they're usually a little more green to me. So maybe I should take my glasses off. Maybe I'd recognize him then. And he's been coming out and getting kind of close to me. Well, I guess he's 8 inches from tail to tip. He's not a horned toad. I want to say he's a Texas whip lizard or a skink, something like that. Don't know. I'll look him up later. Maybe then I could put it in the header when we do that. I'll take a picture, see if the internet knows who he is. But he's a friendly little guy. That's very unusual for a wild lizard. Well, this here sawmill will just have some storage on the inside of it where I can hang blades and store things and have some cutting oils and things like that. So it'll have a doghouse all the way around it. On that side, I'm going to put a door. And I've got, storm doors that I've gotten from places free. So I'll cut an opening, put a storm door in there. That way I'll have maximum light on that side as well. And then the other side, I don't know. I'll probably just tin it. Cutting in a window, it just takes a little while. So let me go ahead and put this window in, and then I'll put some tin over the top of it. I'll call this end done. I'm going to start going through that old tin, see if I can find pieces that are already cut to size on that before I have to cut any. And we'll just tin this up while I'm here. Well, I got 6-foot pieces and I got 8-foot pieces, but I don't have any 7-foot pieces. So I'm going to go get my angle grinder and cut some pieces that'll fit there. And we'll just skin this out right now and move forward from there. Well, even though it's mostly overcast, I touched that tin and it burned my hand, so I know that it's over 120. Typically when I take the heat gun and I shoot the tin, it's 140 in the Texas sun, so that's pretty hot, right? So it'll bake you. Well, I'll need some gloves. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down to the end of that. There's a little notch I'm going to put in the bottom. I've got to cut all these to 7 foot, so I'll use the ATV there as my work surface. So you'll see me go back and forth with some tin, do some measurements, and just cut it up with a angle grinder. I have had rain and I've got some water out here in case a spark sets something off, but I'm not in a burn ban anymore. But it's, I'm real careful in Texas.
So I've cut tin a bunch of different ways, tin snips and whatnot, but keep in mind that the tin that you're looking at here is salvage tin. Some of it, 30, 40, 50 years old, plus it's come off of buildings that tornadoes have wrecked or farmers have stacked. This stuff's thick. It's way thicker than what you would get from the box stores now. In addition, because I collected a lot of different kinds of tin, they don't all have the same corrugation, the same wave frequency. I got to do a little work here to re-salvage and reclaim, but it cost me all of nothing, mostly nothing, except the labor of me going in and, usually when they say you can come get tin for free, they mean you got to clean up too. You got to take it all, right? And I do that, but most of the time I kept my eye out for people that already had the tin stacked and just needed to get rid of it, or like at an estate sale and offering a few bucks for a little bit of tin. But if you look closely, you can see that each piece is its own little unique snowflake, and getting them all work together. It's not easy, but again, I'm going after a whimsy sawmill, right? So, once I hang some old-fashioned tools and some log picks on there and some double-edged axes and some cool stuff, it'll look even better, right? And maybe I'll paint it with the big Texas flag on it. I don't know. It's mine. I can do whatever I want. The real charm of this is everything was free. Like those windows came out of a old double wide, right? That was wrecked by hail, but the window's okay for a shed, right? It still opens and closes. But I want a little light in there for the motor of the sawmill, so that's what that's for. The back doghouse, I've decided I've got some old glass sliding doors, and I think I'll put it on the back side of this. So that I can come in and out, open it up for ventilation, do that kind of thing. So each piece, I just leave it overlap. If I only needed, lengthwise, if I only needed, 14 inches, I went ahead and just put the whole 28-inch piece in. I mean, it's just overlapping, it's just reinforcing, and this stuff's thick. So again, it's a big tornado. You can't stop. It'll do what it wants, but I want to keep this from your normal hurricane inland bound winds. I think I'm there. It's been through a couple of already tornadic level winds, 90 plus mile an hour wind gusts, and it held up. So these doghouses will just add a little bit to it. In addition, outdoor storage, things that I want to store, like farm implements that I want a little bit out of the weather, and while I build some of my building supplies, insulation, things like that, bric-a-brac, metal brackets, antique stuff, I want all of that done. So apologies that you could hear me in the background making noise, but it's just hard work. It's really hard work. Well, this is worth noting. This is the first time I've had this. So you gotta unscrew, when you use little scraps like this, don't tighten them all down at once, because as you use them, you'll have to unscrew them and realign them, because this top piece here and the bottom piece there didn't overlap. Then the other thing you'll notice is that I overlap them in such a way that the rain runs outside each time, right, from the top down. Never do I tuck a top piece into a bottom piece and run the water into the building. It always runs out. So, all right, I mean, for a free building, I'm liking what's happening here. This is my most disliked project, but I like it very much. All right, let's get that last piece in and straighten that all up. As I cut cedar and I get off cuts, I can always trace the edges and trim it and just make it look really nice. But right now I just need shelter. Again, another storm's broiling ahead of my above me, so I need shelter. Get this up. Well, I'm definitely nailing the Depression era vibe, right? So some of this tin is 40 years old, and in fact, some of it's from the Army camps around here in 1940, 1944. So some of it's 80-year-old tin. Once I get it up there, it'll last another 80 years. I believe this sawmill will last 80 years, way beyond what me. But you heard me say that the offcuts from the cedar, if I want to church this building up and make it a little prettier from a distance, I'll chase the edges around with the offcuts of the cedar, and I'll have live edge cedar for the borders, and that'll be really, really nice too as well. Each one of these I have to drill pilot holes. You see me on my knees drilling pilot holes. This stuff's thick, man. So I have to drill pilot holes, and then I have to put it in. And do note the fact when I do a lot of little pieces, you got more alignment issues. So you kind of leave it loose if you can, and then align it all up, and then screw it all as one big piece. That'll save you a little time. Anyway, that's shoring up really well. I'm real pleased. So It's not. It's whimsical, y'all. Just think Civil War era tobacco house or something like that. Old school Depression era sawmill. Well, I mean, it's appropriate. We're headed into the Depression right now. All the signs are there. Where's the Spanish flu? That's the only thing we're missing. But we had the COVIDs, so who knows, right? But anyway, this building maybe is a little example of what's going on in Central Texas. A guy using all reclaimed stuff. You go broke trying to homestead at the corporation levels, that's for sure. But I'm real pleased here. Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up here, and we'll talk a little more about this whole thing.
All right, well, looky here, I'm all done. My little buddy hung with me. I'm convinced that she's a mama that was laying eggs. Animal moms like me. Animal moms and little kids, they come to me when they're in trouble. Actually, everybody comes to me in trouble. I prefer the animals. They're more predictable. You help people, you don't know if they'll get anything out of that. I guess you just help them so you don't change, maybe. I don't know. All right, so looky here, everybody. This is Steve, 1,000-Year Home. I built myself a little sawmill shed here. It's taken shape finally after months of rain and difficulty. Going to get a couple of dog houses put on there. You know what I need? I need to move around the big sawmill blade and lean it up against that just so it's got an old-timey feel. Hang some, some sheaves on it and various tools. That'll do. I'm going to dog house all the way around. The back side here will have a door or two on it so that I have some light coming in through the back, as well as the other side. This is the side where the sawmill engine will be. And then I got 28 feet, which will end just right about where that saw blade is. And then I got all of this for storage here. The back part of this, I'm going to go ahead and doghouse that end, doghouse this end. And then the middle part, I think it'll be expandable doors I can open up. All right, not half bad. Listen, y'all, just putting that in place has decreased the temperature inside this little area by, I'm going to guess, 15 degrees. It is 15 degrees cooler in here than if I step around to the outside. So that's really something.